Hey, BassGeek here, and are you still having trouble catching bass on a jig, even though you've watched all my jig fishing videos? Well, I've got a bait that's gonna help you learn how to fish a jig, but it ain't a jig at all. Let me show you. So I understand a lot of you geeks out there are still having trouble learning how to catch fish on a jig, or catching fish on a jig. Really not learning, because I'll guarantee you're doing it right. But I've got a bait that's going to help build your confidence in jig fishing. It's not a jig, but you fish it the same exact areas. So it's going to help you find these bass. And I think it's more subtle than a jig. You really need to go watch my bait selection video, which I'll put a link to at the end of this video. It really breaks down very nicely sort of my system. So this bait really does help you gain confidence in throwing a jig without ever having thrown a jig. Let's go. So you fishing geeks know that I'm a big fan of XZone Lures, and they came out with a Stealth Finesse series, and it's all scented too, which is something that I love, especially for the first thing that I'm going to show you. Now, I went ahead and picked up a couple of different products in this line. I'll show you a couple of them real quick before we jump into it. This is the Stealth Minnow. If you guys have noticed, this little thing has been doing some work. The regular Stealth Minnow, well, this is the 2.75. Look how small that puppy is. Now, these come in a variety of different colors. They're a great drop shot video. I love them on a jig head minnow, tight lining, whatever you want to call it. It's a great little finesse lure, especially with the amount of pressure. The Stealth version is going to get you more bites. They've also come out with a crawl. Now, this little puppy would be great on a Ned rig, and a creature in a bunch of different colors. Same thing here. This thing would be incredible on a drop shot, a Texas rig, or a Ned rig. Now, the good thing about XZone is they actually make and sell a lot of their terminal tackle for the baits that they make. This is what we're going to be talking about today. This is a 1/8 ounce, my favorite, kind of my go-to size. And this is the Stealth series. This is the Stealth Finesse tube jig. Now, they come in a few different sizes. I also picked up a 1/4 and 3/16. So the bait that I want to talk to you about today is a Finesse tube. Now, one of the ways that I love, we always hear of everybody fishing a jig, you know, skipping it, flipping it, pitching it, all this stuff. But the easiest and really the most common way that we fish a jig is the same way we fish a tube. And these are the Stealth Finesse tubes by XZone. Now, they come in a few different colors. I picked up a few different colors. They are super finesse. They are a 2.25 inch tube. This is one of my favorite colors. This is what I'm going to be using today to show you guys where, when, and how to fish a tube to gain confidence with a jig. This is Green Pumpkin Blue Flake. This is Dark Melon Purple. Love a little bit of purple for those spots and those smallmouth. I really like this color too. This is Touchdown. And you always got to have a Green Pumpkin Black Flake. So I'm going to show you how to insert this. Now you can, moisten this or put a little bit of scent in here. That's something I like to do. We're going to start out coming right in the tube. Now we're going to use Touchdown today. I want this on the bottom of the tube. So I'll just tilt and slide in. Once I get to the end, you can see we just force it to come through, just like that. So we're just going to tie a pit seam knot today. We're going to come through, double over, twist about 5 to 7 times, back through that top loop, nice and quick, moisten, and cinch down. Then we're just going to cut the tag in, and we're ready to go fishing. So one of my very, very favorite rods, this is the TFO option. I just love the color, love the gold highlights. This is a 7-foot medium fast action. I know we're in the shadows here, so that's a little hard to see. But anyway, we've got that coupled with one of the 7 reels. I think St. Croix makes these. This is a 3000 series, 30, 300, all the same thing. About the same size. Again, my only complaint, and it seems like everybody's doing it, they're going away from the whole anti-reverse thing. I'm not a big fan of that. But so far so good with this reel. I like it. I mean, it's a pretty good reel. I've got that coupled with 8-pound K9 Pro 100. 100% fluorocarbon. Got it backed with their braid. If you haven't tried their braid and you're a braid guy, make sure you check it out. Make sure you check out their Pro 100. Remember, fluoro, if it says K9 fluoro, it is a co-poly. If it says Pro 100, it's 100% fluorocarbon. 10% discount. Go try it out, guys. It's a really great line. Hey, geeks, listen, keeping your graphs safe is a big deal, but keeping you safe is a bigger deal. And you hear me talk about this, and again, you heard it the last time I talked about this. Geeks, in the description below, the ones of you all that have your Boat Effects steps, tell them. And 3-4 guys come out and said, hey, I love my Boat Effects steps. We were just at Watson's Marine the other day getting service done on the Camus, and me and Mike were comparing some other steps that came with a lot of companies, and those are still aftermarket steps. You can go out and buy from those companies, and I'm just going to tell you, they don't hold a lot to the Boat Effects steps. If you don't have steps on your boat, please go get them. Save up the money. It doesn't seem like a big deal if you're young, but I'm telling you right now, they're going to save your knees, they're going to save your hips, they're going to save you time, and they're going to keep you safe as we come up into the winter. I know a lot of guys who have hurt themselves or died at the boat ramp, drowned at the boat ramp. Not a lot, but I know 2, I know 3, counting the guy that broke his ribs falling on the tongue when it was wet and slick. Be safe. Keep you, your buddies, your family safe when you're boating. Boat Effects steps, go get them. So you're mimicking basically the same thing with a tube that you are with a jig. That's why I say you can gain confidence in fishing a jig by fishing a tube. Now, like I said, you're not going to throw this around a lot of cover. You can rig it weedless. That's another video. But we're going to leave an exposed hook right now. And so the places that you're really going to target are going to be kind of the places that you see behind me here. And they're going to have a mix between mud and rock. They're going to have places where crawdad can burrow in and create a little winter home. That's going to be the places that you're going to fish this a lot of times. And believe it or not, do nothing mud banks are incredible for just dragging a tube around or even stroking it. You won't believe how many times you're going to get bit. But that's going to be the sort of places that you're going to target this. And this little tube, again, Finesse tube, is going to get a ton of bites. There's a couple of different ways to fish it. I mainly like to throw it out there, drag it a little, and then give it a few hops and a few shakes. I try to mimic a crawdad scurrying away as best I can. And what that means is I'll give it a few very small hops and then let it sit, and then drag it and a few small hops and let it sit again. Now this has got a good hook on it. That's one thing I can say about it. That is a good beefy hook. I don't know if I'd call that a fine wire at all. So go ahead and swing on them, even with a spinning combo like we're fishing it with. And straight up hook set, get them coming to the boat, get that rod tip down, get them in the boat. Net, thumb, boat hop if it's a dink on spinning gear. And you know, I really feel like a tube is kind of the forgotten lure. Like it used to be real big flipping and pitching, and now it's kind of still real big up north for smallmouth and down south too. Let me tell you, it's great for smallmouth this time of year. So make sure you pick up a tube. It will actually help you gain confidence in a jig because you're going to fish it in some of the same exact areas. And if you want to know why I say a tube is kind of a finesse jig and it's going to work better in some situations than a jig, make sure you go check out the bait selection video right here. Questions, comments in the comments section below. Like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you geeks ring that bell. Join the 100% Watch Squad. Help me live my dream. And you geeks rock.